Hi, welcome back to another episode of Knitting with Annie. I'm Annie Lupton of Boho Chic Fiber Co. and I'm glad that you're joining me today. This is going to be an extra special episode because I am sharing my Rhinebeck haul with you. And if you have been following my reels on Instagram, those new little videos that I've been posting lately, you'll see a funny one where I share that I had basically a whole suitcase full of yarn. And so I'm gonna go through that today with you and show off what I got and just share the things that I brought home with me. And this is definitely the most that I've ever gotten from a show before. I think I really was just excited to see my fiber friends again and support all these awesome yarn companies and just small fiber businesses. And I was just super happy and excited. I know that it's been a long year and a half or whatever with COVID, and a lot of these companies, it's, you know, small businesses and it's been a struggle. So I just felt really good about supporting them. So yeah, so I'm excited to share. I'm gonna kind of go through the trip from start to finish, and I'll tell you what I wore each day and the things that I got each day. So we'll start. I left on Friday morning. I did not make it to that Woolen Folk event. If you saw on Instagram people going, it looked like a lot of fun, but I did not find out until last minute. And so I couldn't get childcare lined up and everything. But I hope that next year, I hope to go to that because it looked like a lot of fun, but I can't speak to that event. We left, I traveled with my friend Darby Photos, who you may know her on Instagram. She's Isle of Yarn, I-S-L-E, and she's a newish designer. She's been designing like on her own for a while, but I think the past year or so she's been selling on Ravelry, and she just happens to be my neighbor. She's on my street, and our kids are like best friends, and we've kind of been doing COVID together as families, and so I felt totally good with staying with her. And yes, so we're both vaccinated and everything, and we've been around each other so much, it just felt natural. So she came, it was her first trip, and we left early Friday morning, and my husband watched all the kids until they got off to the bus stop, which was nice. And yeah, so we drove to the Kingston side. I can't remember exactly what town, but we went to the Indian Tangled event. And in the afternoon, I think we were the second time slot. And yeah, we got there. It was nice this year. It was outside. I think that made everyone feel more comfortable. I liked the place that it was at the last year I went. It was like inside of like some kind of mill building. And it was really nice and fun, but it was super packed and crazy. And so it definitely felt better that it was outside this year. And I did get, to that event I wrote everything down so I wouldn't forget. I wore my Earth Folk sweater, like the light teal one that has the twisted stitches on the front. And I wore that over a dress, and it was pretty warm out, so I did end up like taking off the sweater for a while and just wearing the dress. But at that event, I got 2 different sets of yarn, and we were able to visit, you know, chat with a few yarn dyers. I saw the people that I knew personally. Sam at Lavender Loon Yarns was there. She had one of my samples with her, chatted just quickly with her. Hudson and West I saw, and I did get some yarns from them. I had a few skeins of their off-weight forge yarn as their worsted weight. A few skeins left over from the Chevy Folk pattern that I designed a while back. And so I wanted to get yarns to kind of go with that in hopes to make a future design. So I got 2 skeins of this mustardy kind of color, which is like my go-to color. It's their forge yarn. And I love how it knits up. Like I said, I knit that sweater before and love it. And I also got a skein of this kind of like charcoal color. And so I thought maybe I'll do some kind of color work sweater or striping or something, but these will go really nicely with the off-white natural kind of color that I already have in my stash. And I love to try to use up yarn that I already have. So this company was started by Megan Babin and Sloan. I cannot remember her last name, I'm sorry. But I've known Megan since several years ago when I first started designing patterns. Early on, I would submit to Interweave Knits, and I had a few patterns in their magazines. And at that time, she was an editor there, and she was one of the people who chose the patterns that would be in the magazine, and kind of did the back and forth with designers and all that. So I knew her from that. And very funny story, when I was at a TNA trade show a few years back, I was excited to meet her for the first time because I'd never met her in person. And I kind of like ran over there and I had a cup of coffee in my hand and I tripped and I spilled the coffee all over her. And it was like mortifying and also funny. And she was totally cool about it. She's very, very nice. But I just think it's hilarious. It's one of those stories that like I will never forget. And I don't think she'll ever forget me either because it was just like so crazy. So that's my memory of Megan, and she was super nice. And the booth was great. They did a good job. So that was my first yarn haul that I got. I got one other set of yarn from Indie, and this was from a booth that I had never, personally, I'd never seen or their yarns or heard of them before. They're called Queen City Yarn, and they're out of North Carolina. And I got 4 different colors. A couple of them I got 2 skeins, but these are the 4 different colors. It's their Berry Hill yarn, and it's a mixture of merino and alpaca, and it's like a fingering or a sport weight, and they're just the prettiest colors. I really loved this minty color with this coral kind of color here, and then I got like an off-white and this brown as well, and I got a couple skeins of some of the colors. So yeah, I just love the drape and it feels so nice, and the colors just really spoke to me. So I was thinking I might have enough for like a smaller top or like a tee, but yeah, it's a good amount of yards. It's 200 yards each. But really I got it, I was thinking of a shawl, and I haven't done a crescent shaped shawl in a while. So when I saw these, I was just like, oh wow, that could be really pretty for that. Just different sections maybe of lace or just some kind of fun color play together. So yeah, I'm really excited about this yarn. It feels nice. It's just really fun colors. I just loved like these 2 together in particular. So I'll show you this up close. It's Queen City Yarn. And again, they're in North Carolina, and it was the first time I'd ever met them. They were very, very nice. There were a lot of other booths there. These are just the ones that I was drawn to for this specific event. And yeah, it was a pretty small yarn haul from that event, but I got a lot on Saturday, so take a sip first. So I did like kind of start losing my voice. That's why I sound kind of raspy today. I'm used to being at home during the day and like not talking all day. I talk in the morning, I talk in the evening when my kids get home, but during the day I'm usually just kind of like doing my thing and not chatting. So whenever I go to these events, I find I kind of like lose my voice after a little bit. And especially this time, even in the car ride, like I was with my friend, so it was like 4 hours of talking. So I did not get a break from that, and it's totally fine, but that's why I sound a little funny today. Yeah, so Saturday, so we did that, and then we went out to eat that evening, kind of settled in and got ourselves ready for the next day. Saturday's the biggest day at Rhinebeck. If you've never been, it's usually super crazy. There's like so many people there. There were a lot of people there, but it was definitely smaller than previous years, which again, I think a lot of people felt good about that because they didn't, it was just kind of like more breathing room and a little bit more space. Most of the vendors were there, but there were a few areas where you could see there were booths missing, kind of spaced out a little bit more than normally. It's like super packed. And most of the vendors that I chatted with that I had already known or were friendly with had said that this was their first show back since COVID and everything, like their first live show. And so I think it was kind of welcome to them too, that it wasn't too overwhelming. It was like a nice transition back into vending again for them. So yeah, so on Saturday I wore, it was a warm day. I wore my summer folk tee. It's a little white tee with the like the hexagonal flowers and twisted stitches. And I wore that over a dress and just flip-flops with that. And it was perfect. It wasn't, the temperature was great that day. It did start to rain later in the day, but we left like shortly before the rain came, and I don't think vendors missed out on too much time. I think it was just like maybe an hour or so before the end of the day. So, and that's when it's winding down anyway. But yeah, so Saturday is when I definitely saw the most people. I got to chat with a lot of the booths, a lot of the yarn dyers that I know personally that I've met before in the industry. Saw so many friends walking around, like fellow designers and yarn company owners and such. And it was just so good. It's been so long since I've been to one of these events. The last time I went was 2019 to Vogue Knitting Live. And I taught at that in New York. And it was like, oh wait, no, it was 2020. It was like in January 2020. And it was like a few weeks after that everything shut down for COVID. So luckily I squeezed one last one in, but it's been a long time. So everyone was like really excited to see each other. It was great. There were definitely less people, and some of my friends that I would normally see or go with at the event weren't there. So that was a bummer, but totally understand not everybody was like ready to be around that much people yet. But yeah, so I got to just see a lot of friends. It was great to, you stay in touch on Instagram, but it's not quite the same. So it was really great to see people. I saw a few people walking around with my designs on. A couple ladies were wearing the Elephant Promenade sweater, which is a fun one that a lot of people like. And I saw a girl wearing the cropped version of like the Boho Romance crop that has like some lace down here. And that was super fun to see her. I did snag a few pictures of people wearing designs, and I don't know if I shared on Instagram yet, but I will if I haven't yet. So that's always so fun to see people actually knit my designs and wear them out in the world. Usually there's like a few really big name people who kind of have people like swarming around them, and I don't get that, thankfully, because I don't even think I would really like it. But I did see some people who recognized me from online, so it was fun to meet some new knitters for the first time. I always appreciate that. It's kind of just fun to see that, that people know what my designs are and stuff, so that's exciting. So on Saturday, I'll show you what I got. The first booth that I got from, I think I've seen them before at Rhinebeck, but I don't remember, I don't specifically remember them. I hadn't gotten their yarn before, but it's Catskill Merino, and they're local. They're grown they're in the Catskills. They source their fiber from there, and they do natural dyeing. I think they also do some acid dyes as well, but I was really drawn to this. It's a single ply merino. It's like a heavy worsted. Let me see what they label it. It says worsted. It looks like a heavy worsted to me, maybe even a chunky weight, but it's a single ply merino. It is so soft, and this is just the most beautiful yellow color that I've like ever seen. And it's natural dyed with Kamala. And I chatted with their booth for a bit, and they were just the like sweetest, so nice and kind. And so I'll show you this up close. If you can see that yellow, I don't know if it's accurate on the camera, but it's just so beautiful. I love natural dyes. It's such a process, and I really respect people that do it because I know there's so much work that goes into it. But if you can just see, it's that nice single ply. It's so soft because it's merino. It's just so soft, and the color is just perfect. Since it's a single ply, I don't think I'll knit a sweater out of it because I don't want it to pill up a bunch when I wear it, but I think I'll make like a shawl with this, kind of like a big chunky cozy shawl, and it's just so soft. I know I'm gonna wanna like cuddle up in it. So yeah, so again, this was Catskill Merino, and they use their own sheep, I believe, a small farm with a flock of sheep. And they're right in New York in the Catskills. And again, they were so nice and kind. They also gave me this little sweet little knit heart. Isn't that the cutest thing ever? They were handing these out with yarn. So that was so sweet. And I guess it's a good time to say this here, like, I just love people in the industry who are kind and sweet, and the vast majority of people in this industry are so kind and welcoming and great. And, you know, I definitely have had a few experiences where you kind of, not that somebody was like mean, but you kind of just feel like, after meeting them, like you're not like, yay, I met this person. It's kind of just like, oh, like a letdown, or you feel just kind of bad for some reason. I don't know, I can't even place it, but maybe they were just busy, or maybe I said something. I don't even know. But I really appreciate people who like take the time to chat with you, you know, especially if you're not like super well known. It just feels good that somebody like, you know, cares and appreciates you buying their yarn and designing with it. And I just love the people, you know, there's a handful of people in the industry that I will always like love, because especially when I was like a new designer and didn't know anyone, and there are people that were so welcoming and kind to me. And so I always try to remember, like, you know, especially to people who are newer, like it's so important to be kind and welcoming. And this was one of the booths that were just so sweet and kind. And so can't speak highly enough of them, and their yarns are lovely, and this heart is just the cutest. So yeah, so that was my first yarn purchase. And then I can't remember like the exact order I got everything in, but I'll go through the yarn first, and then there were a few other kind of non-yarn items that I got too. So this is a giant skein of yarn from Briar Rose Fibers, and they have a booth, if you've ever been to Rhinebeck, up on the hill in the barns that are up there, like the smaller barns where like the livestock is, that area. There's like that one row where it's like tents that are set up, and they always have a booth there. And I actually bought the same kind of, they sell these giant hanks, and I'll open it for you so you can see. They're huge, and they're meant to be like a full sweater. Like, look how big this is. And I just love like the variation in colors, like the purples, and I love this spot of blue here. I'm really excited to see this spot kind of mixed in. So yeah, so I got this giant skein. It's Abundance is the yarn. And I actually knit a pattern in this a couple years ago from last time when I was at Rhinebeck. It was the raised crop. I meant to grab it, and I don't know where it is now, but it's a cropped sweater. It's like a heavy worsted weight yarn, kind of maybe even chunky. It doesn't say, but I think it's like a heavy worsted. It knits up really quick. Raised crop is the one with the rays that kind of come down. And so I thought, I want to do something similar because it's so fast to knit. It was so fun. This is not the normal kind of yarn that I knit with like variegation, like different colors. So it's just going to be, I think, a really fun, kind of quick, fun knit. And I can get away with my sample size being one skein. This is Abundance. It's 750 yards. So for me, I can get like a tee or a crop length or something with like shorter sleeves. So I'll just have to play around design-wise, but I'll do something quick and simple with this. It'll have to be a simple stitch pattern because all the colors, but I'm super excited to knit something up in this one. And I loved using it before. It's soft, it's great. I look forward to using it again. So again, this is Briar Rose Fibers, and it's their Abundant yarn, and it's just like a giant skein. So that's another fun one that I look forward to knitting with. I have 2 more sets of yarn. Next is Sawkill Farm. Now they are based out of New York as well. They're like in the town right next to Rhinebeck, Red Hook. If you've ever been to Rhinebeck, it's right there. They're a farm, and Callie is the woman who is at the festival. Her and her husband own the farm. They're so kind. Again, another person in the industry that was just so sweet and kind. I chatted with her for a long time. She was probably one of the few people that I like really talked with a lot at the festival. I used their yarn in the past. I designed my planter pullover sweater. Sorry, I'm not as prepared. I'll link the sweaters that I mentioned in the show notes below. But it's the yellow one that has white color work on the yoke, and it's like it's like a very heavy, thick yarn, like a chunky weight. So it's like a really quick knit pullover with some color work on the yoke. And I knit that in their yarn. And when at the booth, they actually had a sample of that on display in different colors. I think it was like a navy blue with white or something, and it looked so nice. And I did get a picture of me with it. I don't think I've shared that one yet either. I've been kind of adjusting to home, and I haven't shared all my Rhinebeck pictures yet, but that'll be on Instagram as well at some point. Yeah, so this time I got their fingering weight base. Oh, it's DK, yeah, but it's the lighter weight. The other one's like a really thick. So I got these 2 colors, and that's their little label there, Sawkill Farm. This is like a beautiful, like a mauvey purple kind of color. It's really pretty. Like, I'm not into the bright kind of colors, you probably know by now, but I love like an earthy tone, and this one's just beautiful. And then I was originally going to get like a green to go with it, but my friend and then Callie, who works on the farm, it's her farm, she was like, this navy blue really pops with it. So she kind of recommended this, and I think that's a good choice. So that's what I got from them. I'm gonna do I wanna do some kind of like color work yoke with this one. So have some kind of design in the yoke, and I think it should pop really nicely with these 2 colors. And hopefully it's enough to do full sleeves, but I can always do like a shorter sleeve or crop it if I don't have enough. And again, yeah, they're such a wonderful, she was so kind and sweet, and I just really loved talking with her. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. She also gave me a bar of soap, but I think I already have it upstairs. So I don't have that with me, but her soaps smell wonderful too. And she's in that big barn on the top of the hill, like the livestock barn area. She's on the biggest one at the end, like the big white barn, if you've ever been to Rhinebeck. And so it was wonderful to see her, and her booth was lovely. And I'm really excited about knitting something up with these. So again, it was Sawkill Farm, and I highly recommend their yarns as well. They're lovely. Yeah, so that's that. And I have 1 more set of yarn to share, and then a couple other little random things that I got. So this yarn I was super excited about. Okay, so a little story first, I think. So years ago when I went to a TNA show, I think I met her at a TNA show the first time. Maybe it was when I was living in Michigan. There's a Michigan designer, Jill, oh my gosh, now I'm blanking on her name. I'm sorry, Jill, if you're watching this. Zielinski, I think it's Zielinski. It could be. If it's not, I'm so sorry, Jill. But I'm terrible with names. She recently started North Bay Fibers, and she is a designer, and she's on Instagram, and I'll link her stuff below as well. she just started her own yarn line. It's Michigan wool, it's milled in Michigan, and she just went through that whole process, and I'm sure it was so much work, and I love her designs. She's so kind. She's one of those people that I met really early on in my design career, and when I was like nobody knew who I was like really new, just starting designing. And she was so nice to me from the start. Again, another like gem in the industry. I just love kind people. I've just had a few bad experiences where I felt like icky, you know? And so it just feels so good to have somebody who's kind to you. And I love Jill. She's very kind, and I'm so happy for her that she created this yarn line. So it's North Bay Fiber. It's her new yarn company. And it is a blend. She uses a blend of merino, I think. Oh, Targhee wool and polypay, which I've never heard of polypay before. But if you can see here, it's super squishy. If you've ever used Targhee wool before, it's one of my favorites. I know Brooklyn Tweed uses Targhee. I believe they do. I think there's other yarn companies that do too. It's super squishy. And if you're a spinner, it's a short fiber, so it's really soft. It's not quite as soft as merino, but it's soft. And if you're a spinner, you'll know it's one of those wools that when you're spinning it, after you apply it and you like set it, it'll shrink like this much because it's just so squishy. It just kind of puffs up, which makes really for wonderful stitch definition. It's a nice round yarn. It's wonderful. It's DK weight, which is great. I got these 3 colors, this kind of musty light pink, this green, and then this nice rich orange. And I don't know what I'm gonna design, some kind of sweater, but I just loved all 3 colors. And they just look so nice together. So I'm really looking forward to working with this. It's 100% wool. It's those 2 different ones. And it's a 23 micron, which is very soft. So whatever this polypay sheep is, it must be another short fiber, really soft wool. It's super soft. They're beautiful colors. And I really can't wait to cast on with it. And yeah, again, it's North Bay Fibers. Follow them on Instagram, check them out. Jill, who started the company, she's a very talented designer. And so check out her stuff as well. But, you know, it's all Michigan based and American wool and wonderful. So it's definitely worth checking out North Bay Fibers. And when I was at that booth, so many people in the industry were there, like so many designers and like fiber friends were there. So it was a real fun connecting time. Her husband was there helping her at the booth, so I got to meet him. Just super excited for her. I think she's one of those people in the industry that I think everybody would agree is just so nice and friendly and welcoming. And so I think you could see that because everybody like wanted to support her, which is great. So I hope she did well. I'm excited she has this new company, and I got a lot of it. So I should be able to make a pretty good size sweater with it whenever I get to it. So that was my last yarn purchase. And I did get just a couple other things. Let me take another sip real quick. Okay. And so one of those I did get on Sunday, which is the slower day. On Sunday, I wore my Dowses sweater, which is a recent design that I released. It's the blue one with the color work all over the sleeves and all the way down. And I love that design. So I did wear that one with some like leggings and like a little t-shirt dress to be comfy. And I got to wear my boots because it was a little cooler out that day. So it was great. Sunday was definitely slower, as it tends to be. But there were still people there. So yeah, so Sunday was fun as well. We left a little bit earlier on Sunday, and we spent some time in Rhinebeck in the village in Rhinebeck, which I've driven through before in previous years, but I have not gotten out and like walked through. And it was so much fun. It's such a cute town. We just kind of, first we walked around, we parked and just walked. And then we went to a couple little shops, walked around. We got a beer at a local place. It wasn't a brewery, but they had like local beers on tap, and we sat and like knitted and chatted, had a drink. And then we went to, there's a candy shop there that my friend Darby told me, I guess she had researched the town and I didn't know, but Paul Rudd and like another actor like own this candy shop. And I am like a big Paul Rudd fan. I've been a fan of his since Clueless. I've just like always loved him as an actor. So that was like kind of fun. We went into the candy shop, and we each got like some little snacks like to bring home the kids. And it was just kind of fun that like a little piece of trivia that like he owns the shop. Yeah, so then we got a drink, we walked around, we ate at a delicious Indian restaurant there that was like so good. Yeah, it was just wonderful. It's such a sweet little town in the mountains there, and definitely I feel like I got to explore a little bit more than other years. We also went to a place that I've been every year to eat, Yum Yum. It's like an Asian and like noodle place, and it's so good. So good. So I've been there before, and I like made sure to go again. That's probably my favorite place to eat around there. It's so good. Yeah, I think that's all we did out. So yeah, so I did get a few other little things. I got this little pouch. I've been needing like a new smaller wallet. I have like a small bag that I carry with me to go to like the grocery store and stuff. And Matterroot, Maine is a great company. It's a husband and a wife. They do block printing on shirts and project bags. They do really high quality, nice stuff. They had these little pouches, and I wanted to go say hello to them. The inside's super cute. The outside is this nice like tweedy color, and it's this mustard, which is like my favorite color. And so that's super cute and well made. Said hello to them. They're doing well. It was their first show back. A lot of vendors, it was like their first time back. So yeah, so they live in Maine, and they always like sell out of everything they make because they do such a great job. So it was nice to see them. Christina's the owner of that business. And I got three other little things. So in the book tent, if you've ever been at Rhinebeck, there's like a book tent, and they have usually knitting authors and such who will sit around, and you know, the new releases, they'll be there to chat and they'll sign your book for you, and it's wonderful. They have stitch dictionaries, all kinds of different books. I saw this book. I'm not sure if the video flips this or not, but it's called Real Men Knit, and it's a novel, and the author is Kawana Jackson. And she was there, and I chatted with her a little bit. She's from New York City, and Real Men Knit. I was like, okay, that's gonna be so cute. So I'm super excited. It says she's a best-selling author with USA Today. She was so friendly, and just chatted with her for a bit. And so I'm like really excited to check out this book. I think it's like a little racy, she said, but I don't mind that. So yeah, this will be like a fun book to read. And she was very nice. So that'll be fun. And then that's really it. Mostly I got, I like to, when I go to knitting events, get some kind of like little gift for the kids, just so that when I come home, you know, if they've been missing me, I can be like, oh, look, I brought you something. So I did pick up, I got them like a little candy each, but I also got these little, I can't remember the name of the booth. Sorry, I forgot. I don't know where the card is, but these adorable little hand knit stockings. Aren't they so cute? Like one has a heart on it. One has a little Christmas tree. And then the other one has a little sheep. And so I got these for my kids for Christmas ornaments. I often do like an ornament a year as like a gift anyway. And so these are just the cutest. I mean, you know, this is the kind of thing that I could probably knit, but I love supporting farms and makers. And so I was happy to like support somebody and get these. The kids were super excited. They loved them. So yeah, so we'll add these to our holiday decor this year for our tree. And for my husband, I don't usually get him something, but I saw this and I got to taste a sample of it and it was so good. And so it's kind of like for him and for me, but it's called Hetta. It's like a mulled wine, which I think it was like a Swedish, so it says Nordic traditional. You are supposed to heat it on your stove. And I think he said it was like, it's like a welcoming to your home. People will heat it and have like a little cup of it, like kind of like greeting friends and family, which I'm all about. And I love making mulled wine anyway. That's something I do as it gets cold out. We have a Christmas party at our house. We've only had one so far, but it's going to be our tradition to have it at our house every year. And I make like a nice big thing of mulled cider. And this is just really well done. Super tasty. Yeah, so we already had, my husband had like a little bit of it to taste. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to have more of it. It's called Hetta. I think that they, I believe they ship at least to the East Coast, it sounded like. Yeah, so they were very nice and they were giving out samples and it tasted great. So this was like my husband's gift. He doesn't always get something, but he did this year. And yeah, that's everything I got. This is a long episode today, but that's okay because I got a lot. And yeah, that's everything I got at Rhinebeck this year. It was a great trip. I loved it. It was so good to be back. If I saw you, hello again. Thank you for the people that stopped and said hello. I can be kind of shy, but I try to be very outgoing at these events. So if I didn't see you, hopefully I'll see you at another show in the future. And I definitely look forward to getting back into these events. I don't know about the indoor ones, if they're going to be hosting them this year or not, but it was so good. I've really missed like connecting with knitters and kind of having this time away. So I'm really excited to do it again. Hopefully they can pick up again and COVID stays low and we can kind of move on. Yes, it was a wonderful time. I did want to make a plug real quick. This, I just released yesterday, my latest pattern, All Things Autumn pullover. It's a sweater version of the shawl pattern, All Things Autumn. And it's kind of like a patchwork looking style. It has different sections of lace you'll see here on the body. It's hard to see because it's dark, but like these brown sections have these little embossed stitches that kind of pop up off the fabric. It's super fun to knit, really fun to wear. I really like it, so I'm happy with it. So yeah, so that pattern just released. It's available on Ravelry and my website. And if you're watching this in real time, it's on sale 25% off through this Saturday. So I think that will be October 23rd, I believe. Yeah, so check that out. And I will do my best to link all of these yarn companies below in case you want to check them out, and the book and everything. I will try to link everything below. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. I hope this was fun. Yeah, have a great day. And until next year, goodbye to Rhinebeck. See ya.